Good evening, everybody. I'm a couple minutes early tonight, but that's okay. I'm usually late. Um, anyway, I want to start tonight's show out with some introductions of our sponsors and thank yous from our sponsors. And first up tonight is our good friends over at Hell's Speed Shop. Hellspeedshop.com. You got to go check them out, man. They have some kick-ass apparel. They have flannels, t-shirts, hats. I mean, they got everything over there. You got to go check them out. I will be wearing my Hell Speed Shops apparel in Galveston, which is in 2 weeks. Check them out and go over to Hell Speed Shop, order you some stuff up, hellspeedshop.com, and let them know Kevin with the Grind sent you. Next up is our good friends over at Print Signs and Design, PSD for short, 856-453-0336. They do t-shirts, hats, apparel, printing, apparel, signs, promotional items, vehicle graphics. They do posters. They do all kinds of cool shit. You got to go over and check these guys out. They got great prices, great turnaround. Everything is awesome. When you do reach out to them, be sure to tell them Kevin with the Grind sent you. What's up, guys? It's good to see everybody in the house. Next up is our good friends over at Indiana and Northern Illinois Thunder Roads Magazine, Marsha Fitzpatrick. You guys have got to go check their magazine out if you're in Indiana or Northern Illinois. Their magazine is kick-ass, great content, great pictures. It's a quality magazine also. It's not real thin paper. This is good quality stock, good stuff. Go get you a subscription to them and tell them Kevin with the Grind sent you. Next up, our good friends over at Legacy Bike Works right here in Manville, Texas. And yes, I am part of Legacy Bike Works, doing everything from stereos to porting, sealing bags, custom metal work, custom fabrication, full builds, minor audio upgrades, anything you could think of, air rides, center stands, big wheels, fat wheels. We do it all. Check us out on Facebook at Legacy Bike Works on Facebook. Next up, our good friends over at Stellar Customs. You guys know Rich Cozy, the guy that makes the kick-ass carbon fiber windshields. Give them a call at 331-551-2560 or go email them at info@stellarcustoms.com. They are looking for dealers all the time. Great prices, great product. I mean, they're flying off the shelves right now. Go check them out and tell them Kevin with the Grind sent you. Next up is who else we got up in here? Our good friends over at J&D Custom Polishing and Plating. Everybody knows Gary Dubois now. If you're into motorcycles, you know this guy. Best chromer, best chrome plating, copper, nickel, chrome, silver, and 24 karat gold. Check them out at 651-251-7400 or go to J&D Custom Polishing and Plating right here on Facebook. And when you do get a hold of them, be ready because you're going to get the best chroming in the industry right there. And be sure to tell them Kevin with the Grind sent you. Next up, our good friends over at Hopkins Design. Everybody knows Earl now. Web, printing, branding, video, hosting, drone footage. I mean, the guy does everything from building websites, logos, custom artwork, print work. He does he did our 2021 National Biker Build Off documentary, which we still have those for sale, $15, $5 for the ride, $20. You can have the documentary in your hand, or you can go to Vimeo and you can actually download it for $3.50, I think it is, $3.50. And you can watch it on your TV, do whatever you want, but check it out. We still have them available, and we have apparel, and we have the posters and things available. But go check out Earl if you need anything website related, anything like that. Go check him out and tell him Kevin with the Grind sent you. Next up is our good friends over at North DFW Trailers, 214-205-6787 on Facebook, North DFW Trailers. Whether you want to rent a trailer for the weekend, whether you need to get your trailer fixed and repaired, or you need to buy a new trailer, you need to go check these guys out. Kelly and Jeremy, awesome people. We will have Kelly on here. We're going to do an interview with her soon, hopefully. But anyway, go check them out and tell them Kevin with the Grind sent you. Next up is our good friends over at Urban Rides Magazine, urbanridesmagazine.com, Urban Rides Magazine on Facebook. You have got to get you a subscription to those guys. Magazines are phenomenal, amazing magazines. Always have the hottest bikes, always have great articles, always have, the rally coverage, everything you could possibly want. Plus, they have online subscriptions, so you don't have to buy the magazine. You can just get it on the internet. We know you spend all your time on the phone anyway. You might as well go over and get you a subscription to Urban Rides Magazine, urbanridesmagazine.com, Urban Rides Magazine on Facebook. Next up, American Drag Seats, home of the integrated sissy bars and the air ride system. Your seat too hard? Give me a call. We have custom-made airbags we can put in your seat, custom adjustable airbags for any seat, any type, wheelchairs, motorcycles, 18-wheelers. It doesn't matter. If you sit down on it, I can make an airbag for it. Reach out to us at americandragseats.com. Get us at American Drag Seats /Attitude Inc. on Facebook, and just give me a call. So good evening, everybody. So tonight's show is going to be a little different. Well, actually, it's not going to be different. It's going to be me talking about something that I experienced. But what's up, Uncle Bruno, Mr. Chris Dubois, Logan Black's in the house, Mr. Rich Cozy, Robert Foss, Miss Janice Juban in the house, Mr. Smooth, Dan Juban in the house, Mr. Joe Hill, Billy Faust. What's up, my man? Marsha Fitzpatrick's in the house. Who else we got in here? Mr. Robert Davis is watching. My friend Michelle Rowe. What's up, young lady? Mr. Wingo Eric Zadzik. I can't say her last name. Our good friend from Cameroon. This boy is bad to the freaking bone. You guys don't even understand how badass that kid is. What's up, Joe? Mr. Fretwell. Mr. Brad Murray's watching. Mr. Jeremy Wade's in the house. What's up, Mr. Jeremy Wade? Rico Rodriguez. Mr. Kevin Baird, my friend. Dana K. Fullen's in the house. Mr. Luis Rodriguez is in the house. Man, we got a full house tonight. So I'm sure you guys have seen the videos already. Derek the Upgrade, my buddy, Bolden, had a show Tuesday night. Somebody else had a show Monday night. And it was all about the SOS takeover this past weekend in Dallas, Texas. I went. Now, let me explain something to everybody. Before I get off into this, my opinion, I am not a guru of the stereo systems. I'm not a guru of the motorcycle stereo systems. But I did compete. I did compete this weekend. And I'll be real honest with you guys. There are reasons every one of these shows handle the shows the way they handle the shows. But here's my opinion. And we all know my opinion doesn't count for much. But the reality of it is I do have an opinion on it. Ricky Will, a gentleman. You cannot complain about how Ricky Will runs his shows. You just can't complain. There's nothing to complain about. I appreciate Ricky. I appreciate the fact that he brought it to Texas. But I heard things after the show, some things I don't agree with. And again, let me please repeat myself, people. This is my opinion. You're watching my show. It is my opinion. Let me fix that. My OCD is kicking in. When I sit here and I tell you guys, look, the reality of this is just my opinion. And you're going to have people that support my opinion. You're going to have people that think I'm an idiot. You're going to have people that are like, really don't even give a shit. But you know what? At the end of the day, again, it's my opinion. I think Ricky and the SOS are really good at what they do, the way that they do it for the people that they do it for. I think Banger is good at what they do, the way they do it, the way they put the shows on, and the people they do it for. I think Sandy Bond and Ben are awesome with Sound Wars. But one thing I do know is that everybody does it different. It's always different. I don't understand different. So I've had conversations with Ricky Will. I've had conversations with Joey Hensley. I've had conversations with Lee, with Josh Brooks. I've had conversation with these stereo competition people. Shut up, Brian. I wish I had that picture to put up so you could actually see. And I'll tell you guys a story about that in a minute. But anyway, so everybody does it the way they want to do it, the way they think they should be doing it. But the one thing I do know, and I'll be real honest with you, is the stereo competitions have gotten so, I don't want to say volatile, because no matter what the competition is, when you put a bunch of grown men in a room or at an event or anywhere and there's a competition, there's always going to be shit talking. There's always going to be that one loudmouth. There's always going to be that one guy that's quiet and doesn't say anything and then just comes in and just fucking runs people over. You're always going to have the dynamics, the different dynamics. What I don't understand, and I'm one of those people that's purely black and white. You can't tell me you're a millionaire if you don't roll up in a millionaire's vehicle. You can't. I always believe the proof is in the pudding. You can't tell me you're a baller if you ain't got nothing. You can't tell me you have the baddest fucking bike in the world if you don't have the baddest bike. But when you come to a show and you hear grown men arguing and you hear grown men putting each other down, you get to the point where you're just like, man, this is a shit show. And I don't care whose show it is. I don't care whose show it is. There's always going to be the controversy at the shows. There's just, it's inevitable. That's what they do. Whether you're building bikes, whether you're doing stereos, whether you're racing hot rods, whether you're in an underwater basket weaving contest, there's always going to be controversy. I get that. I really, really do, because you have so many people with so many different mentalities and raised differently, and just, you know, you don't know someone's background until you sit down and you break bread with them, or you sit down and have a drink with them, and you get to know the person. But first impressions are kind of hard to get rid of when you first meet somebody and they instantly start talking shit about somebody. It amazes me that grown men talk to each other the way they talk to each other. I was raised differently, and I'll tell you a little story because it plays into the stereo competition. I was always raised that if you don't have anything good to say, then don't say anything. Now, a lot of people might look at that and say, oh, well, this guy doesn't talk shit. He must be a puss. No, that's not the case. Sometimes it's called class. You either possess class or you do not possess class. Every time I hear these phrases, fuck around and find out. That is so funny to hear for me to hear when you see grown men talking shit and be posting up, man, fuck around and find out how badass I am. He says, so who hurt your feelings? Nobody hurt my feelings. I would have to care about you for you to be able to hurt my feelings. And I'm just going to be real honest with you. Ain't a whole lot of people I care that much about. So let's just be real clear about that. You can't hurt my feelings unless I care about you, unless I care about your opinion of me. If I don't know you, man, you can say anything you want. I will say this. If you feel froggy and you want to talk about my kids or my wife, you will find out. There's no fucking around with that. You're just going to find out. But my point is that when you get people together and it's all being a competition to see who can tune a bike the best. Because in my opinion, that's what every one of these sound shows is about. Who can tune the best? Because you have people, and I've talked to a lot of the big builders that do the stereo systems, and I kind of get the same feeling from all of them because they all have their opinion when it comes to the technical aspect of tuning. Like you guys saw a couple of weeks ago, Ricky Will said, this, and this. It's like this. You tune the speaker to do what the speaker is supposed to do. If you try to overpower it, it's going to distort. If you underpower it, you could blow the speaker. And yeah, I didn't even know by underpowering it, you could blow it. But, it's one of those things. But I guess what I'm basically getting down to is at the end of the day, everybody's running Euphoria. Everybody's running PRV. Everybody's running Ground Zero. All the equipment is there. Okay, everybody's running the same bags. Everybody's running the same rings. Everybody's running the same blah, 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 blah. It's all pretty much the same shit. So at the end of the day, what does it come down to? How did you set your system up? How did you seal, port, install your rings? How good of a fiberglass job did you do? And how did you tune it? Did you tune it worth a shit? Well, that's a whole nother friggin' argument, because one tuner is going to be like, yeah, that dude really don't know what he's doing. He's an idiot. He doesn't know the ohms and he doesn't know the watts, and he doesn't know the RMS, and he doesn't know at the end of the day, everybody's trying to participate. But I guess the part that really gets me, and it really, really gets me, is that when you go to certain shows, you're there to have a good time. And that's the funny thing, is 99.9% of the people say, oh man, I'm not in it to win. I'm just here to have a good time. I'm just here to have a good time. But then when you get in the ring, it's like, well, that's not right. Okay. So example, my bike is a 6-speaker bike. I have 4 8s, 1 in each lid and 2 in the tour pack. And then I have 10 in each bag. My bags are sealed and my bags are ported. Based off the SOS rules, that puts me in a lightweight class. If my bags weren't sealed, it would put me with the same system, but without a fiberglass top in my bag, it drops me down to the featherweight class. I don't understand that, because at the end of the day, a 4-speaker bike means it's got 4 speakers, and it's going to have some type of amp that goes with it to run those 4 speakers. And to some degree, you're going to tune it. The next bike is going to have 6 speakers in it. It's got 6 speakers, whether it's got, 2 8s, 2 6.5s, 2 10s, whether it's got 4 8s, whether it's got 6 8s, whether it's got 4 10s, 6 10. I think it's a 6-speaker bike. It's got 6 speakers. It should compete with another 6-speaker bike. It doesn't, in my opinion, it seems like to me, 2 speakers should compete against 2 speakers. 4 speakers should compete against 4 speakers. 6, 8, 8, 10, 10, blah, 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 blah. Because at the end of the day, if you take a guy with 6 speakers and you put him against a guy with 10 speakers, and their bag setup is exactly the same, they're both ported and they're both sealed, and they both have 10-inch either mid-bass or subwoofers, he's got a full-on advantage of 6 speakers when I only have an advantage of 4. I don't think that's fair, but that's my opinion. Now, you could get Ricky Will on here, and you could get Lee on here, and you could get Josh on here, and you could get all these industry professionals to get on here, and they're going to debate with you. They're going to argue with you. They're going to basically try to tell you why they do what they do from a technical side. When in reality, in my opinion, 2 speakers is 2 speakers, 4 speakers is 4 speakers, 6 speakers is 6 speakers, 8 speakers is 8, 10, 10, 12, 12, 14, 14, 16, 18, 20. It gets to the point, man, because there are people out there that just want to do it, and they enjoy the work, and they enjoy putting the systems together. But you got people out there with some deep, deep freaking pockets. Deep pockets. They have the kind of money I call fuck you money. They have so much money, they can look you dead in your eye, and if they want what you've got, they will buy what you've got and say fuck you and walk away. What did PJ say? Just shows you have no idea what you're talking about. Bite my ass, PJ. That's another professional thing. I have no idea what I'm talking about. Because why? Because I'm brand new in speakers. So what? That's what the format's for. Big deal. So what? I don't know what I'm talking about. I'm talking. That's what I'm doing. The cavity a speaker is in is 90% of the sound. The cavity a speaker is in is 90% of the sound. Okay. I will agree with you 100% on that. The cavity a speaker is in is 90% of the sound. So correct me if I'm wrong, PJ. You just clearly said it. I'm going to put it up on the screen right there. The cavity a speaker is in is 90% of the sound. So based off what PJ just said, I could go down to my local Walmart and I could get me a Kicker 10-inch subwoofer or whatever Walmart sells. And you're going to tell me that speaker is only 10% of the value, and 90% of it is the box that it goes in. But I can go over here to Euphoria and get the same 10-inch speaker, and that speaker goes in the same box, and you're going to tell me that Walmart special is going to be equal to the Euphoria? I don't believe that. See, Logan, I agree with that also. If you understand what you're doing with audio, you can do really, really good. I disagree with PJ 1,000%. But then again, like PJ said, it just goes to show I have no idea what I'm talking about. I have no clue what I'm talking about. And that's okay. I don't admit to know everything. Kevin Sockwell, please stop. You're killing yourself. Stop what, Louie? Stop what? How am I killing myself for admitting that there's things I don't know? See, I'm different than you. You're on a different level than me. I don't pretend that I'm something I'm not. I don't know stereos. That's what this whole conversation's about. I'm trying to figure this out. I'm trying to learn so that one day I can pull up next to you and PJ and I can actually do something. There is a $30 mid bass right now that's killing the game. Where? Who manufactures the $30 mid bass? I want to see that. I disagree. I fully disagree. I fully disagree. And the reason I tell you I disagree is because PJ is correct. I don't know what I'm talking about, but I don't pretend to know what I'm talking about either. I don't pretend to be like the baddest stereo installer in the world. If you give me 4 amps and you give me 20 speakers, I can promise you I can wire them up. I can do that much. Can I make it sound better than anybody else out there? No, I can't. No, because I'm not there yet. Will I get there? I will get there because that's the person I am. But what I'm trying to establish here is not so much Ricky's right, Ricky's wrong, Josh is right, Josh is wrong, PJ's right, PJ's wrong. That's not what I'm trying to do here. What I'm trying to do here is, in a roundabout way, state this one thing to you. So in Texas, because they've said it, Lucky 7 is the best there is. They will run everybody over. They've been running everybody over. Nobody can compete with them. I get that. And the proof is in the pudding because they've done it. When you get a new guy, like let's say me and Devin, and we want to get into the market, we want to get into the competitions. The only way we're ever going to get into that competition is through trial and error and money. We're going to have to research. We're going to have to figure things out. Now, I will say this. You're never going to convince me. It's never going to happen that a Bose speaker is the same thing as a Walmart speaker. You'll never convince me of that. There's technology in it that matters, in my opinion. It's just like buying a Hyundai and buying a G-Wagon. They're both vehicles, but you got to admit one of those vehicles is better than the other. They both do things and they both get you where you need to be, and they keep you dry when it's raining. They both have windshield wipers and seat belts and airbags, but I think the G-Wagon is better. I don't know. I can't put my finger on why it's better. I'm just going to say it's better. Like a Ferrari and a Camaro. They both do the same things and they both can be very fast, but you're never going to tell me a Camaro is as good as a Ferrari. It's not going to happen. Now, with those things being said, it's like the stereo system. Back to the shows. You go to one show and they have a set of rules. You go to another show, they have another set of rules. You go to another show, they have a set of rules, and you go to a last show and they have another set of rules. If you plan on staying in Texas and only going to the Texas owned, operated, and ran shows, you can build a bike to win their shows. If you're willing to do the homework and you're willing to do the research and you're willing to put in the due diligence to do that. I fully believe anybody can win on any given Sunday or any given Saturday or any given Friday. I believe that, but you've got to be willing to do the work. I also believe that if you're going to take your bike right now and you're going to go out of state to someone else's, then you're going to have to build a bike based off of what their rules are, the way they do things, because what you've got over here is badass in this group. As soon as you go to the other group, you find out where your stuff's not quite good enough, and you're going to either be up a class or down a class. If you go to a third show, it's the same thing. You have to build a bike for the shows you plan on attending. Now, with all of this being said, I was talking to somebody at the beginning of the week about it, and as usual, I don't get into arguments because I'm not trying to prove to you that I'm right. What I will do is ask you to prove to me why are you right? Give me the information that I'm lacking. Give me the knowledge that I'm lacking so that I can better understand what you're saying. If you're not willing to give me the information and you're just being a cunt about it and you want to talk shit and bump your lips, I've got no time for you. You're not my people. My people are the people that like to have adult conversations and the people that want to really discuss something. And if you don't know something, they would rather educate you than sit there and call you an idiot and call you stupid and whatever. Those are not my people. My people have class. My people want to educate and pass on their trades however they want to do it. Just like I said, I'm not the best metal fabricator. And in some people's minds, I don't even know how to form metal, but that's okay. When I see somebody struggling with something metalwork wise, and I've had to do it repeatedly, and I know I'm good at it, I will offer up my advice to them and say, hey, look, when you do this metal job right here, you're missing this 2 or 3 steps. If you do these 2 or 3 steps, man, it's going to take your metalworking to another level, just like the stereo systems. I don't know the technology to build an amp. I don't know anybody right at this exact second, maybe other than Scott Owens, that has the mental fortitude or the education to make an amp. Now, I'm also assuming that Scott can make an amp. I only know a couple of people that can physically, with their own 2 hands, build speakers. That doesn't mean everybody else can't do it. It just means that I'm only privy to this information from these individuals. Now, that's not putting someone down saying they can't do it. It's me saying, I don't know that you can do that. Can you do that? If you can do that, show me. Show me you can do that. In stereo competitions, people are spending ass tons of money, whether they build them themselves or they pay someone to build it. You're still spending money, even if you're getting all of your stereo equipment at cost, or you're getting a markup, or you're buying it at full retail. It doesn't matter. You have to pay money in order to get a bike that sounds good. Now, 2.5 years ago, Andy Smith from Smart Cycles gave me some equipment for advertisement on the show. That's how I got into the stereo game. I never really had a passion or a want or an urge to get into this game, but I know that there's a validity to it. There's value in getting into the stereo game. I mean, whether you're doing boats, you're doing cars, you're doing slingshots, you're doing motorcycles, you're doing trucks, you're doing competitions, or you're just wanting to be loud on the lake on a weekend or on a Friday night at the local Sonic drive-in. There is a reason people want to do it. But discussing business with direct competitors is just dumb. That's my opinion. There is plenty of work out there, but guess what? I'm in business to fill my wallet, not yours. Logan, I will agree with that, but only half of it. Because, again, I think it falls back on the fact that when you get into business, just like what you said, if I talk business with somebody, whether it's building bikes, doing metal work, working in a chemical plant, which I do, hosting a podcast, which I do, or doing motorcycle seats, I don't care to teach people what I do, because at the end of the day, discussing business with direct competitors, they're still not you. They don't possess your passion, or maybe they possess more passion. Even if you try to teach them how to do it, they may not be able to do it at the end of the day, because after you've taught them, they're like, oh, fuck that. That's too much work. I don't care about doing that. But I know at the end of the day, Logan, if you called me and you said, hey, Kevin, I really want to start doing some motorcycle seats, I would teach you everything I know about doing seats. And it would never cross my mind, oh, shit, if I teach Logan how to do seats, man, it's going to affect my pocketbook. My mind doesn't work that way. When I look at competition, I look at, hey, this is an ally. Yes, he does what I do. Just like James Carter, Dave Voss, Troy Swarver, and there is a buttload of seat builders out there. I'm not really concerned with if someone calls me and says, hey, man, how do you do this? How do you do that? I think at the end of the day, and I'll be real honest when I make this statement, some of you guys will get it and some of you guys won't. At the end of the day, I'm more concerned with how many people show up to my funeral. I want to make a mark, and a good one, not a bad one. I want to make a good mark on this industry, my kids, anybody I come into contact with. I want people to say, you know what? I don't always agree with what he says, but I always agree with what he does. Because I'm not the guy that's going to fuck people down out of spite or envy or jealousy. If I think I can help you, I'm going to try to help you. That's just who I am. I'm more concerned with how many people are going to be at my funeral, because that is a direct correlation of how many people did I affect when I was alive. How are you going to know, Kevin? I won't know, but my family will, and the people that are there will. I'll be dead. It won't matter. I'm not the best person in the world. Funerals are weird, so I'm out. I prefer hanging out with people above ground. Amen. See, that's a good thing right there, too. Austin Swindle, man, I am building a pad in the backyard this weekend. I guess I'm old school. I like hearing the sound of the bike rather than a stereo. To me, stereo systems are for cars or trucks. That's just me, though. To each their own. Amen. It is. Amen, Brad. That is exactly what it's. That's what it is. Nobody invited to my funeral. I'll be cooked on the steak. Oh my God. No, this shit just got dark. It didn't get dark. My point is be a good fucking person and shut your fucking pie hole. That's what it means. Be a good person. Don't be the guy that's always spouting off, fuck around and find out, because you're just being a dick. I don't want to be around dicks. I don't want to associate with dicks. If you can't support me to my face, then don't. That's cool. That is so cool. You don't have to like me. You don't. And you don't have to fuck around and find out. I'm nobody. But there's only a couple things in my life I can guarantee you is A, I will not be bullied. I don't give a fuck who you are. I don't give a fuck how poor you are, how rich you are, how white you are, how black you are, how green you are, how purple you are, or how badass you think you are. You will never bully me and get away with it. It's not going to happen. I will take an ass whooping. I will take it every day of the week until either you stop kicking my ass or you respect the fact that, hey, that motherfucker is not going to back down, period. I'm not going to do that. I will defend my friends, and I'll even defend some people that don't even like me, because it's okay not to like me. That's totally freaking fine. Will you be doing the interior on your coffin? I possibly will. God damn it, I want to show the pictures, but I'm not going to show the pictures until tomorrow when I get the seat wrapped. I've got such a funny story for you guys. It's going to be on pictures, though. It won't be on a live. He said, fuck off or fit in. Get in or get out. Get along or get on. That's it. It's just that. So you guys know this whole show was started because of a painter. A painter I felt like was doing somebody dirty. Why are you so angry? That's funny. I'm not angry. I'm actually really, really happy. I'm actually really, really in a good place, man. My life is actually blessed. I'm not rich, but guess what? There's always a roof over my head. When I come home from work, I always get a hug from my little boy, and sometimes from my older one, and sometimes from his girlfriend. But I always get a hug from the little one, and I love you. My wife is always there. Whether I get home before her or she gets home after me, she's always there. He said, who? Bad Apple? I'm not even going to touch that because that's not even worth arguing about. That's between y'all. I have nothing to do with that. But no, PJ, I'm not in a bad mood. I'm in a great mood. And you want to know what's even funnier? Is I was having a conversation with some people and telling them this weekend how cool you and Louie actually were this fucking weekend to us. You guys were such a blast to be around. Y'all were fucking cool this weekend. I'm at the Sonic drive-through. Anybody want anything? Rock 44 Cherry Vanilla Coke. I'm just saying, that's what I want. I'm learning more about stereo stuff from Keith Hoover, from Laying Low Baggers. Super great guy. Helps me a lot. 2 corn dogs, please. Was that painter the one who quoted me 10K? Man, it seems like you lost your sense of humor, man. Taking too much of this stuff. PJ, shut up. I haven't lost my sense of humor. I've got my sense of humor. You know I've got my sense of humor. Austin Swindle, yeah, the guy that ripped me off. Oh, I could go into so much detail about that, but I'm not going to. I'm not going to go into detail about that because it looks like I'm going to be taking sides, and I'm not taking anybody's sides on that situation. Anyone going to the Lone Star Rally? I don't know. Are you going to the Lone Star Rally, Brett? Anyway, God damn it, you guys got me off because I'm reading the goddamn comments. My whole point was I was talking about the stereo competitions, and you have to respect the people that do the footwork to make these competitions happen because they take a lot of money from what I've seen. They got a lot of sponsors, but it takes a lot. You got to commit for a full weekend to do these sound shows, and there's so much preparation. And I want to tip my hat to Ricky Will because he brought it to Texas, and I think it was a good show. I don't like the way they class stuff, but guess what? It's okay. I still appreciate what he did. I still like what he does. I just would do it different. But here we go again. It's my opinion. I would do it differently. When my bike was built, I didn't have a class in mind that I was going to be entering in. I was just kind of super stoked there was going to be a stereo on my bike because, it is what it is. But when I went there, it was an education to it. Ricky took the time to talk to me. He was a very, very busy guy, but he did take some time to talk to me about why they judge, what songs they judge. And one thing that really, really got me is this is a true statement, and I'm a victim of it because I did it. So I was listening to a couple of bikes playing. I'm not going to give the people that were listening to, that were competing, I'm not going to give them any commenting on here. I'm just gonna say we were listening to two bikes. From where I was standing, the bike closest to me won, and the bike furthest from me didn't. Well, Ricky told me, he goes, yes, that one bike was great, but when you put the bikes together and you play the same songs, there's a difference. And I understood that because he took the time, instead of judging me and saying I'm an idiot, he took the time to educate me on why he did that away and why you do things like that. And I get that. So I was educated on that point. If you're not standing right there above the seat or leaning over the seat to listen to the full range of music that a bike is playing, it's going to be really hard to judge it because this little thing they call sound waves. If a speaker is facing like this and pointed at you, you're going to hear everything the speaker has to offer. If that speaker is tilted at all, it's playing in a different direction, you're not going to hear everything it has to offer you. Which is why you have to be standing next to the bike, leaning over it, and really get into that bike to hear everything it has to offer. So therefore, when you go in a competition, you got to do that to this bike, and then you got to do it to that bike. If you're off in the crowd and you're thinking, oh no, that one bike won, you're not hearing the whole story because you're not privy to everything that bike had to offer because you weren't standing where he was standing. So for that, I appreciate that because I would have assumed this other bike won based off what I heard, but I wasn't standing where they were at. So I appreciate the fact that, like I said, he didn't put me down. He educated me, and I hear that. The only thing I had a problem with, and like I said again, man, Ricky would defend what he does for the reasons he does it. Lee would defend what he does for the reasons he does it. Sandy, Bon, and Ben would defend what they do for the reasons they do it. And I'm okay with that. That's the spice of life. That's what you're doing. But you can't go to all three of those shows with the same bike and be in the same exact class every time because they all run them a little bit different. Hey, Electric Boy, keep it down over here. Tune in next week to Kevin's tuning seminar. I don't know how to tune, dillhole, but I might learn. I might try to learn. And I promise you, if I try to learn that and I get good at it, Austin Swindle, you'll be the first motherfucker there. Hey, dude, come tune my bike for me. I guarantee you would be. Because when I put my mind to something, I go at it. He said, I love the sound from my 3'4" speaker cassette tape boombox, electric twin turbo, twin engine, That's another thing, Tim. Your electric bikes are badass. When are you going to get into the stereo systems with all those batteries you have? You'd be playing for a year without ever having to charge anything. My whole point is that I hope you guys kind of understand this. Brian's got to be drinking. Is that there's differences everywhere you go and how you do it. And in order to be competitive in all of them, it's going to take all of those guys, all of those formats getting together and coming up with one set of rules so that you can travel. So that if I go to Daytona to the SOS, it's the same competition as going to Texas and doing, banger. But I don't ever see that happening. The reason I don't see it happening is because everybody in their own right has their own way of doing things the way they want to do them, and they figure that's the best way to do it. I'm the same way. I'm not putting anybody down for having that mentality because I have that mentality. But I do know that there are people that build some killer stereo systems that just won't compete because of that. He said, I'm eating my ice cream, TD them to put everything but the kitchen sink in it. What is TD? That you told them to put everything in it but the kitchen sink? That's funny. He said speaker seat. Dude, I don't build Fieros. Come on, Tim. I can't do that. And I know how old you are if you agree with that comment. There seems to be a lot of drama on these stereo competitions. Of course there is. There's always drama at the stereo competitions. And the funny thing is that when it's over with, oh, I was just playing. That's what you get a lot of is, oh, they can't take the heat, man. They shouldn't be doing this. Oh, dude, I just, man, when I tell you guys the drama is stupid to me. If you win, you win, you lose, you lose. I mean, if that's the only reason, if that is the only reason you're doing something is purely just to compete and it's just a competition bike, why put a paint job on it? Why put a seat on it? Why spend all that money to put a big wheel on it? Why spend all the extra money on extra shit if you're just building it just to compete? You don't see blinkers on drag racers. They don't have blinkers. You don't see headlights on those cars because they're specifically built to go from A to B. That's it. That's all they do. It's the same as street racing, except no money bets. See, that's the other thing. And when I say this, I'm probably going to be hated. I don't think anybody out there actually believes in themselves enough to put money up. I don't think anybody out there would do a grudge stereo competition with money. Now, let me say this. I won't do it because that's not my bag. That's not what I'm doing right now. In a year and a half, after I get some, education behind me, some research behind me and do stuff like that, yeah, I might be willing to throw some cash down. But I would love to see PJ and Louie go to any of these stereo competitions and throw $1,000 down and say, I bet anybody here with this class of bike will run you over. Here's my $1,000. I'd love to see that. That would be badass. I've never seen it. Where? I'd love to see that. I will go on the grind live in Galveston, Louie, if you guys put $1,000. Where? I never heard a thing, and I was there. We just did it for $1,000 at the track. When? When did you do it? Saturday night after everything I did? Where? And again, I'm not saying it doesn't happen. I've never been privy to seeing it happen. I would love to see that happen. Somebody let me know when it happens because I want to see it. I had 1,000 today. Cocksucker face that lives here took it. Huh? Saturday night. He just said the track. Well, we were at a track. He's not lying about that. I did it for 2,500 in Myrtle. Why don't you guys go live with that when y'all do that? People would watch and see, oh shit, they're putting money down. Let's see what happens. I want to see that. That's what I want to see. And I'm not I hope I'm not making anybody feel like I'm disrespecting people for what they're wanting to do, how they're wanting. It's their thing. Again, I want information. If you think that I'm not going to try to learn how to tune, how to build, how to do stereo systems, guess what? We own Legacy Bike Works. We have to, whether we want to or not. It's just part of the game. I meant over the past several years. Brett Jubenkamp this year, my godson is getting married this week. Yeah, unfortunately, he's not. I have a rack on Ricky in Lone Star against Allen. Cool. I want to be there. Let me know when you do that because I want to see the cash, or I'll even hold the cash for you guys. I'll be going live, taking that cash. Like, look here, got some cash, got some cash. We're doing this for cash, straight up. Let's see who wins this bread. I would love to do that. That would be awesome. I still want to know what the $30 mid base is. Yeah. So somebody said there's a $30 mid base out there. Post it up so we can see it. Post up a link so we can all go get $30 mid base and compete. I want to see that. Anyway, no, I'm not in my feelings as far as PJ goes or Louie goes. I love those guys. They piss me off sometimes, but I'm sure I piss them off too. And I don't get upset about the competitions because the reality of it is I am not a stereo guy. I don't even pretend to be. I had some good people help me out, support me with a stereo system, putting everything together. And I appreciate that. So that's why I did compete. Why post it? Do your research just like the guy that found it. Just like the guy that found it, you lazy fucks. What? Why post it? Do your research just like the guy that found it, you lazy fucks. Okay, I'm confused. What I got to figure out. Because when you go live, it sounds like the bike is playing underwater. It's shit. No. I get that. Yeah, I agree 100% with you, Logan. But it would be cool to go live to video the actions going on. Hey, I got $1,000 says I'm going to run you over. You got $1,000. We're all in, and go live. Because unless you're standing there, you really don't get a full feel for what some of these bikes are capable of. Example: Ricky Will had an orange trike that apparently Shannon Davidson built, and Ricky and the guys put the stereo system in. And I'll tell you what, dude, I would have never known the trike even had a stereo system in it. But when he pulled it in the ring and he started banging, I was like blown away. So there are bikes out there that, man, it's just like, holy shit, man. I would love to tear the bike apart just to see where everything's at. Yeah, Louis, I know. I figured out he was talking about the speakers. I knew that. Orange Trike was crazy. Yes, it is freaking crazy. So did you finish your story about the different classes? And here and again, my opinion, whether it's right, whether it's wrong, it doesn't even matter. It's just my opinion. Yeah, I think there should be a 2-speaker class, 4-speaker class, 6-speaker class, 8-speaker, 10, 12, whatever. I think once you get to a certain point, then you literally should be in and like just, hey, it's just a run what you brung class. But then again, when I give you that opinion, it's based off of an opinion of an outsider that doesn't know how to build speakers, how to build amps, other than wiring a bike up. I don't know everything to do. I do know this, that there are good people out there, and one of them is Scott Owens, that's not afraid to talk to me and tell me what's up with what and give me information. That's the other side of the coin. He's not afraid to give up his information. He's one of the people that have actually pretty much always been there to help me if I have a question. Brian Barber's been there to help me have a question. Fuck, even you, Logan Black, you've been there. You were a kick-ass soundboard for me all throughout, the build-offs and stuff like that. Okay, you bring 6 tweeters, and I'll bring a full system with 6 speakers. That doesn't work. Of course it does. Of course it works, because they don't consider tweeters speakers. But I agree with what you're saying. I do agree with that. Now, let me pose this to you. If you said, Logan, I'm going to call you out. I want you to build a 6 speakers, but the 6 speakers have to be 6x9s. And I'm going to build a 6 speaker with 6 6x9s. Does that sound fair to you? Or does it sound more fair? Hey, you bring whatever it is you want to throw at me, and I'll bring whatever it is I want to throw at you. Phone did what did I miss? Phone died. Learn how to type, dummy. Nothing. We're still talking about the same thing. The only difference is that when it comes down to the game supposed to be sold, not told. All I know is Friday night, them upgrade burgers was smacking the taste out of everybody's mouth. Fuck yeah, they were. I ain't even gonna lie to you. Kevin Baird, thanks. Wait until next year. It was a blast. It was a blast. And then fucking hamburgers are insane. You guys wait. I've done everything I can to talk that man into opening up a burger joint, a burger truck, whatever, because his hamburgers are probably the best hamburgers I've ever tasted. If you don't know, Derek, the Upgrade Bolden makes hamburgers that are fucking insane. They make everybody happy. I don't care who you are. You can't eat one of his hamburgers and not be happy. But anyway, my whole point is that I'm not so stuck on myself to sit here and say, no, I don't know everything about stereo systems. I don't know anybody out there that does. The reason I say that is because this shit changes literally every 6 months. It changed. You put a stereo system in your bike today, 6 months from now, there is so much new shit coming out that what you have is outdated. Now, if you're the guy that wants to keep on top of things and keep doing it, well, then keep on spending your money, man. You worked for it, not me. Keep on spending your money. It's all good. Wait a minute. Wasn't he your show host for like a week? What happened to that? I'm lost. I don't know what he's talking about. Yeah, there is a million ways. I'm waiting to see the first person to do 15-inch subwoofers in a motorcycle. Because you can't tell me it can't be done. Surely it can be done. But what class would you be in? Because you're going to have to modify your bags. You're going to have to make them really freaking wide. But then what class do you go into? I don't know. The classes are going to change. I've heard that rules change. I've heard that all kinds of shit changes. It's so hard to stay on top of the game. All you can do is build what you build, go to the shows, make as many friends as you can make, and do whatever you can. So isn't that Jason Leese's bike, Tsunami? What class would he be in? They already make them wide. Like I said, I would love to see a 15-inch subwoofer in a bag. And then I would like to know how in the hell they got that bag to work. Well, I know I've seen Jason Leese's bike, which I think that's what Louis is talking about, a Tsunami, is the green bike. Already been done. Man, years behind. So why is it not normal now, Hayward? If it's already been done, so why aren't they normal if it's already been done and I'm so far behind? Why is that not the normal? Why is the normal 10s and 12s if 15s have already been done and I'm so far behind? I would take that, Kevin Barrett. He ain't never offered me that shit before. I'm trying to figure that out, Hayward, because you said I'm light years, I'm so many years behind. If I'm so many years behind, why aren't 15s normal? Because you can't ride that shit. Fuck, half them goddamn bikes, when they get to that level, you can't ride them. You can't ride them either. And correct me if I'm wrong, I've talked to a lot of people at that level, and they do not ride their bikes. They don't. They ride their bikes into the ring and they ride their bikes out, or they ride it to a bike night and they ride it back. They do not put them anywhere. I put 3 of them bitches in my buddy 43-foot cat. Well, yeah, a 43-foot cat. I'm sure you got a lot of room. We have seen and heard one, Kevin Sockwell. I didn't say that. I want to see one in competition. I want to see that next level. 15, because 15s need space for base and people aren't creative enough to make it happen. I would agree with that, Logan. I would agree with that 100%. Logan Blackman, come out next year. I got something special. Preference, Max Spalding did it before Jason Leese did it. Preference. Well, doesn't bigger equal more base? Again, I'm asking a question. I'm not trying to be a smartass, Hayward. Being real honest with you, just asking questions, man. Anyway, it doesn't matter. At the end of the day, you got people that have the bankroll to actually invest the money into bikes to do those kind of things like Jason Leese does. You've got people like me that were blessed with friends that help them do things. I can really, really tell you guys, I don't think I will ever put that much time and energy into a stereo system on a bike. And for those that are haters, yeah, it's because I'm probably not good enough. But for the reality of it is because I don't have the desire to do that. That's not my desire. My desire is to build things and build, metal. It doesn't mean that building bags doesn't count and building stereos doesn't count. It just means it's just not my thing. It's just not what I'm wanting to do. I'm sure there will be a customer down the road that'll be like, man, I want the biggest, baddest motherfucker on the planet. And if we ever get contracted to do that, I will be making phone calls to people. I will reach out to my friends. Preference. I don't know. What do you mean Jason Leese has no friends? I don't even know what the hell that means. Did he just low key say that Jason doesn't have friends? I didn't say anything about Jason, unless you're talking about someone else saying that about Jason. Anyway, my whole point is that in order to be in that game, you're going to have to build your bike for the format that you're going to be competing in. I learned that this weekend, and like I said, I really appreciate Ricky Will. I appreciate everything they did to do it the way they do it. I just didn't agree with the way that they did it class wise, but that doesn't mean that it's wrong. It just means that's the way they do it. I never built a bike for a class. I built the bike to ride and to prove to myself I could build it. And then I put a stereo system in it that I thought would work just for me. Did you really? Keep drinking, Brian. Kevin Stockwell, did Dan Juban agree to the challenge, asking for several friends? Okay, you know what, Louis, that's a dick move right there. I'm going to tell you that. I'm going to put it on the screen, and I'm going to tell you why it's a dick move. Right there. Kevin Stockwell, did Dan Juban agree to the challenge, asking for several friends? Correct me if I'm right or correct me if I'm wrong, Louis. Didn't Dan call you and Dan talk? Because when I talked to Dan, he said no, that they already had something going on, but they would eventually want to go against you guys. Eventually. So you already know for a fact y'all discussed it, and he didn't accept the challenge because he's already got prior engagements. So don't be a dick. You're better than that. What's up, Mr. Pat Beatty? He said, wake up. Anyway, you guys, I apologize if anybody thinks I was in a bad mood. I'm not really in a bad mood at all. I'm in a great mood. No, I didn't. I'm already involved in something. No, I didn't. I'm already involved in something. My phone was dead. Cricket service sucks. Oh my God. Anyway, too much ice cream. Brain freeze. So do we have 30 prior engagements? I don't know what that means. And I don't know which one is Dan and which one is Louis. So from what I understand, let me be real clear. I posted something saying that I wanted a father-son team to do a build-off. Kevin opens a shop and turns into an ass. No, I don't, Austin. You know better than that. Yeah, that is a good comment, though, Austin. I'm going to give you that one. I open a shop and I turn into an ass. Touche, bro. Touche. This shit is hilarious tonight. It is. Thank you, Logan, for admitting that. It is. I'm trying not to be hilarious, but apparently it just falls out of me. So from what I understand, I did a show and I was talking about wanting to do a father and son team build off against another father-son team build off. Then I was talking about, one of the rules for a future build off, not the father and son one or anything like that, would be maybe the guys would have to paint their bikes with rattle cans. And then there was a bunch of shit going on. But in the midst of all that, I actually had Dan reach out to me and say that they would be interested in doing a father-son build-off against another shop, father and son. And it got kind of, if you didn't watch the whole show, then you would have thought that it was kind of all mixed together, which it wasn't mixed together. It was like different topics at the same time. Anyway, so Louis and PJ said, hey, let's do it. Tell Dan we want it. We want to do a build off against them. I called Dan, talked to Dan, and Dan said, man, there's no way we can do it. Not right now. We already have a prior engagement. And so for Louis to say they never talked, that's bullshit. I know they talked because I was on the phone with Dan and discussed it with him, got it cleared, and then found out that he talked to Louis right after he talked to me, and he called me back and he told Louis they couldn't do it. They had other stuff that they were already doing. But I will tell you this right now, Louis, and I'm going to let everybody know this. In time, Legacy Bike Works will establish a name, customers. We're saving our money. We're doing everything we can to build a good shop here. But once we get to a certain level, and when I say level, I don't mean how good we are, how bad we are. What I mean is once we get enough money put into the bank, you can guarantee I will call PJ out from Lucky 7 and Johnny, because I've got nothing but respect and love for Johnny and respect for PJ. But we all know you're not going to build the bike, Louie. You're the owner of the shop. It's going to be PJ and it's going to be Johnny. When the time comes and we get the money, I guarantee you, I would be honored to go against PJ and Johnny. That would be awesome because I respect them both. You know, I do. And I'm not full of hate. You know, if I do know that PJ and Johnny will bring something special and they'll make me earn whatever it is I do, whatever level it is I do. There's not going to be I'm not going to run them over. You know, I would like to believe they're not going to run me over either. But the opportunity to compete against a name like PJ and Johnny from Lucky 7, that's just good stuff. It's good stuff. I would definitely love to do it. You guys better pack a lunch. Money doesn't win at the end of the day. Okay, I'm lost. I don't know what all these are. Bentley, PJ, what happened to Dominic? Dominic's still there, if I'm not mistaken. He comes in after school. Team up with that Pasadena Mike guy. Ooh, if you're talking about who I think you're talking about, oh shit. True, but paint on a bike does. Anyway, y'all got so many comments going on. I can't do that. Sir, there is nobody better in Texas than PJ Orlando or Johnny Lamongo. Just keep practicing for 5 to 10 more years. Hey, Louie, bite me. You haven't even seen what I'm capable of, but it's good you support your guys that way. You should. At least you have somebody to support in. But I will tell you this, if you think I need 5 or 10 more years to run your ass over, you're high. You're high. I'm putting that out there. All I need is the money. All I need is the money, the customer or the money. And if I had the customer or the money, holy shit, you'll find out what 5 or 10 more years for me does. You'll find that out the hard way. But anyway, that's just playful fucking with Louie. Y'all know that. He said, Brian, team up with anybody. We don't care. There's no teaming up with anybody. He said, okay, I will borrow you the money. What you mean borrow me the money? I'm not paying you back. And I goddamn sure ain't going to give you the best bike you've ever built. Anyway, you guys know I love you guys, man. It's all good. I want to see everybody do good and reap benefits. And at the end of the day, man, we're all here just to have a good time. And if you're not here to have a good time, man, you are doing it for the wrong reasons. I'm just saying. But you guys, go have a kick-ass night, man. Thanks for watching the show, man. If you feel so inclined to spread the word, man, just push the share button and let everybody know we do this every Thursday night. I appreciate you guys. You guys go have a good night, man.